Hey toy fans, I'm D21Beast and welcome back to my figure review series here on my YouTube channel. Today we're once again looking at those Marvel Superhero Masters figures, and this time we've got the Merc with the Mouth for you, Deadpool, released by Hasbro in 2014. If you haven't seen any of my previous Superhero Master videos, definitely check the link to those reviews below this video. But what we have here is a line of figures that allows you to pull apart your action figure at the joints and reassemble them with other action figures in the line, and basically make your own mashed up homemade superhero. Let's go ahead and take a look at that packaging. As you come down the front of the box, you do have a window box packaging that does house the Deadpool figure inside, as well as his numerous accessories. He does have his name off to the right, and on the left hand side of the package you do see a mashed up superhero, as well as the logo for the Marvel Superhero Masters toy line. Flipping this package around now, as you come down the back of the box, you once again have the Marvel Superhero Masters logo. You've got an image of Deadpool in the center, mashed up with other heroes, and he's saying, "I put the action in action" figure. And towards the right hand side of the box, you do have a lineup of figures currently available in this wave. Alright guys, that's the packaging. Let's say we get this Deadpool out of the box and see what this guy is all about. Alright toy fans, here we have Deadpool out of the box, and this figure looks really cool. There's not a lot in the way of sculpted detail on this guy, but the paint applications are really clean, and I'm very happy with what Hasbro's done for us here. Where we do get some nice sculpting work, you're going to see here on the mask, Deadpool's lips are kind of showing through, which is nice, and he's got a furrowed brow there. And then there's actually a bit of sculpted detail around the black circles on his mask here. And then he does have an ear sculpted and his sort of signature sock cap coming off, or signature point on his sock cap on the back of his head there. Coming down the figure here, you're just going to see some really clean black paint applications around the side of the torso and on the shoulders. You do have his belt painted on here with actually a different emblem than Deadpool typically has on his waist, so that's kind of interesting. He's got some black paint around his wrist here, and then some black paint on his legs for the straps that hold some accessories we'll get to in just a moment. And then he's got some black striping here around his ankles. Now as you look at this Deadpool figure, you're going to notice that he has all these notches all over him. That's actually to house different accessories that the figure comes packed with. But overall, a great sculpt and great painting work on this figure. I have no complaints. This Deadpool figure comes with a lot of accessories. Now typically I've been covering the Marvel Masters figures that are in the $9.99 price range. This Deadpool happens to be $14.99, so for that extra $5 they're really packing in the add-ons with this figure, and I'm glad that they did that. The first thing we'll take a look at here are these throwing stars that Deadpool comes with, or these shurikens if you want to call them that. He's got 3 of them. Each one has a peg on the back, and Deadpool has these notches all over his body that these throwing stars, or shuriken, can go into anywhere. You can put them on his shins, on his hips, on his forearms, on his back, and his hands, really whatever you want to do. And it adds to the sort of overly weaponized flavor of the character that you're used to from the comics, and adds to that sort of humor that you expect with Deadpool, so I like that. He's also got these 2 katana blades. Now these blades are actually identical in both sculpt and paint detail to what we saw with the Wolverine figure that I've already reviewed. But as you can see here with these swords, they do have pegs on them as well. You can peg these swords in anywhere on the figure, whether you want to put it on the figure's back, or put it in the arms, on the shins, really just anything you want to do with it. And like we saw with the Wolverine figure, Deadpool's got one open hand and one clenched fist. Now, the peg on the end of this sword will fit into the clenched fist for Deadpool, but it looks a little weird that that sword's not actually in his hand. You see what I mean here with the handle right there? So you can actually fit this sword nicely into Deadpool's left hand here. Just kind of squeeze it in there. It's a little tight like it was on the Wolverine figure. And he holds that sword quite nicely, so that's a nice little touch there. Deadpool also has this spring-loaded gun, and as you can see here, it does have this orange button on the top, and you can press that button and the missile does fire nicely. And then the gun itself can actually go into the clenched fist hand for the Deadpool figure, or you can actually mount it onto his arm, put it in the other hand, really just whatever you want to do with it. Again, you have so many options with all the accessories you have, and there's plenty of ports all over the figure. Finally, what Deadpool comes with is this Venom arm. Now this arm is actually different in both sculpt and paintwork to what we see with the other Venom figure that's available on the market right now. The Venom that's already out there has sort of a smooth skin texture, and this Venom arm, the symbiote arm here, has a bit of a rougher sculpted texture to it. And what you can do with this arm is just pull off Deadpool's forearm right here, it just pops right out at the elbow joint, and put this arm here. And Deadpool now has a symbiote arm, and I think it looks really good with the figure since he already has a red and black color scheme. So lots of accessories for this Deadpool figure, the possibilities are endless. Moving on to articulation, you can see that this Deadpool figure does look up that far, he does look down only about that far. His head does rotate a full 360 degrees. He has a shoulder joint that'll spin all the way around and move out from the body and up about that far and back down. There is no bicep swivel. He has an elbow swivel that spins all the way around, as well as a single jointed elbow that moves down that far and back that far. He has no wrist or finger articulation, and that articulation is copied here on the other side. He's got no sort of ab crunch or waist twist, but he does have a ball jointed hip that'll move forward that far. It moves back that far. He bends out from the body that far, and then he does have a single jointed knee that bends down that far, it bends up that far, and spins all the way around. And finally, he does have an ankle joint that will bend down that far, up that far, and he has that Hasbro ankle pivot. So a great range of motion for this Marvel Masters figure. Alright, toy fans, so if you're watching this review and you still don't get what all this Masters fuss is about, let's go ahead and show you how that works. Here we have parts from Iceman, Wolverine, and Green Goblin, and what we can do with this Deadpool figure is basically pull them off at every single joint. Let's go ahead and do that right now. And he comes apart pretty nicely, pretty easily. And let's say we want to go ahead and give Deadpool Wolverine's head. Well, we can just go ahead and plug that right on here, and it plugs in nicely. And let's say we want to give him Green Goblin's legs. So we'll go ahead and plug these on to the Deadpool body. And maybe we want to give him some Wolverine boots to go along with those green legs, so we'll go ahead and plug those on. And maybe we want him to have the ability to shoot ice from his hands. So let's go ahead and grab an Iceman arm from over here. We're just going to go ahead and plug that right in here. And maybe we still want him to have a Deadpool glove because, well, we just thought it looked really cool. So we go ahead and plug this glove right onto Wolverine. In fact, let's do one better. Let's go ahead and pull off this Iceman arm and pull off this Deadpool arm. Let's go ahead and put the other Iceman arm on this figure, and we're going to find it right here. And let's go ahead and use that Venom arm that we saw before. And now we've got a truly mashed up superhero. There's so many different things you can do with this toy line. And of course, the more figures you own, the more options you're going to have to mash up your superhero. Height-wise, we can see that this Deadpool figure does come in at a little over 6 inches tall. For some size comparison, here we have Masher's Deadpool compared to Masher's Wolverine, Masher's Iceman, and Masher's Green Goblin. And finally, here he is compared to the 6-inch scale Marvel Legends Deadpool figures, both the Red Deadpool and the X-Force Deadpool. I'm on TV! Hi YouTube! Hi Mom! Wait, Mom's gone. Hi YouTube! Alright toy fans, well that's my review of the Marvel Superhero Mashers Deadpool figure released by Hasbro in 2014. And overall, this is a really great figure. He doesn't have a lot in the way of sculpting, but his paint applications are perfect, and of course he's Deadpool. Who doesn't want to add this figure to your collection? I'm really glad that Hasbro chose to include him as part of the Superhero Mashers line. Now this figure does come in at the increased price point of $14.99 versus the $9.99 that most of the Mashers are available for, but you do get all those great accessories included with Deadpool, and they really do enhance your interchangeable and play options with this figure. So he's definitely worth the extra $5. Well, thanks for watching this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you saw here, please feel free to rate, share, and subscribe. Also, be sure to hit me up on Twitter. Thanks for watching, and may your days be full of chimichangas.